Hey guys, I'm here with a new video. Um, this is going to be the first installment to what I'm going to be calling monthly recaps. Pretty much, I'll just be touching on, things I did well, things I didn't do well, executions I'm proud of, not proud of, and just overall summary of my performance on said given month. So let's start off with things that I can improve on for this month that I've noticed within my trading. Is not letting outside noise dictate trades for me. Now, this isn't an issue that I do too often, but the fact that it's an issue at all is something that I'm not okay with. So, this is something I'm going to really work on, um, just because I don't want it to be an issue at all. So, for example, off the top of my head, this month I only did it about 2 times this month, but the fact, like I said, the fact that I even did it is still something I'm just not proud of at all. So, for example, NVAX here, on this day here, I took an execution because, there's things like, social media, there's a lot of access to outside ideas, and I've come to the realization that none of that shit matters. The only opinion that should matter, the only analysis that should matter is mine. And just because someone else is in a trade and I didn't do my due diligence on that setup or I didn't think it was ready, but other people are making money on it, maybe the first 30 minutes of market open, and I feel the need to, for whatever reason, join them on that. But I wasn't planning on taking that trade. That's something I'm not happy with. So, like for example, this month I took this trade here. Prior to these 3 candles, or 4 candles, I was not planning on taking this setup. I personally did not think this setup was ready. And obviously, hindsight is 2020, but it goes to show that I should have just followed my own analysis, my own opinion, and my own conviction. I ended up taking the trade. It reversed on me pretty bad, as you could see. This candle was pretty violent. But I saw other people making money on it, and it was working out for the first 15 minutes of market open, and it quickly reversed on me. And I didn't feel good about the loss. I didn't prep for it before the day, before pre-market or the day prior. I just wasn't happy with that execution. Secondly, following my sell rules. Now, this isn't something I'm also completely terrible with, but it's something that I think everyone struggles with. No, for me personally, my sell rules were just so complicated. They weren't simple enough, and I didn't like that. Complexity fails, simplicity scales. So I went ahead and refined pretty much my whole entire process, but more specifically my sell rules. I made them super simple, just trailing 2 moving averages, trailing 50% with the 5, 50% with the 10, and that's it. I'm not trimming for no reason. I'm not selling just because, I'm in a position and there's one inside day candle and, um, for whatever reason, I just feel the need to trim at certain risk reward or certain R's, whatever the case may be. I'm done doing that. I'm letting my process dictate when I sell, not my emotions. So yeah. Another thing is waiting for massive volume confirmation, and now I know that's obviously a given with pretty much any form of trading that you really take, whether you're day trading, position trading, swing trading. But my issue is I've taken setups in the past where I didn't necessarily wait for massive volume confirmation, and it's worked out for me. And I feel like that's conditioned. I've conditioned myself to think that's a good habit, or that's a habit that I can get away with. And I've been realizing more often than not, I will lose a trade because, there's one little massive pump, previous high day break, and then the rest of the volume candles after that previous high day break just die out, and I end up taking an unnecessary trade because I didn't wait for massive volume confirmation. So yeah, that's just something that I've kind of just trained my brain in terms of just forming a bad habit that I'm going to get rid of. So yeah, what else? Realizing that being early is still being wrong. That's kind of just ties back to waiting for volume confirmation. Being early and it paying off. It's not something that I'm going to be proud of anymore. Like, and I wasn't even proud of it before, but it was kind of like, wow, I just got a lot of luck into it. It was just too much luck. It was like a feeling of like, I'm going to anticipate this move, and if it happens, I'll be really right, but if it doesn't happen, I'll probably be wrong, or I will be wrong, get shaken out, and then I'll end up being right. And, I'll forget about that ticker after getting stopped out because I'm like, fuck this shit ass name. Turns out I look 4 bars later and it's up 50, 60% the past, 5 days. But I was early and I thought I was, the setup wasn't valid. In reality, it just needed more time to, go sideways or whatever the case may be. So yeah, just coming to the realization that being early is still being wrong. Lastly, um, this month was a red month for me. I'll touch on that in a little bit, or more on that in a little bit. But yeah, I think we're a little bit under or at 3% realized losses on the month. Now, I know that might be a lot for some people, but for me personally, that's not the worst I could do because typically my winning months are 10% or more. Sometimes they're 12%, 13%, 15%, 25%. So a 3% loss to me is not that massive, especially compared to my losses, 2 years ago, a year ago. That's a drastic, drastic, drastic improvement. So yeah, that's pretty much everything that I feel like I can improve on. So we'll just recap on that real quick. Not letting outside noise dictate my trades, following my sell rules, waiting for massive volume confirmation, realizing being early is still being wrong, and just this month my winners weren't as big as my losers, or as bigger than my losers. Sorry, um, just because my winners were poorly managed. Also I wasn't really in tune with the market. A lot of breakouts didn't have follow throughs, they quickly died out. But mostly because I was poorly managing and selling some of my winners for no reason, just because I was letting my emotions dictate when I should sell and not my process. So things that I did improve on, well, I refined my system. I touched on that earlier, but I made it completely simple. I fixed all my standard operating procedures for pretty much every aspect of my trading, especially my sell rules. And yeah, so that's pretty much it on that. Closed the second half of September really strong, in my opinion. Um, I closed the second half of September pretty strong. I'm pretty happy with my executions. Trades like Tesla, I'm up about 6.5 R, maybe 6 R on this. I'm still holding 100% of my position. The rest of these two positions, I've been managing them well. I haven't been selling for no reason. And although Poet is pulling back, and I was up at one point like 50%, I didn't trim. And I know that sounds crazy to some people, but I understand that trimming, and this is obviously opinionated, but trimming won't make you lose money, but it won't make you a lot of money either. So, my focus is on just not selling for no reason. I'm letting my process dictate when I sell and not my emotions. So I'm happy with, giving back gains, but following my process. It's okay. Because I know that the moving averages, you can't beat them. You just can't. Simple as that. Um, So on to the other thing that I did improve on was I did not exceed more than a 3% red month on realized losses. Like I said earlier, that might be a lot to some people, but that's not really a lot to me because I know on my winning months, I'm averaging typically more than 10% on the month. So that's more than 3 times uh, of my losing months. Typically, a bad month for me would be like 5% red or 4% red. And lastly, I limited my trades. I think I only did about 27 executions, 23 closed executions. So yeah, that's might be a lot for some people. That's not really that much for me. Uh, just because I guess you could say I'm a little bit of an over trader. I do swing a lot. So 20 something executions isn't that much for me. Might be a lot for some people, but for me, it's not. I was very selective. Fortunately, I didn't manage the ones that I was very selective with the best way I could possibly could. But the past 2 months for me have been red, and I haven't done that. Prior to that, I was green for like about 6 months straight. So it's been a transition. I have been struggling. I'll admit that. I'll be transparent, but I'm pretty sure everyone struggles, and if they tell you that they're not struggling or they haven't struggled at one point, they're definitely lying. But I have been managing my losses. I've been keeping them pretty small. I haven't blown up my account by any means. So, that's massive growth compared to where I was a year ago, 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, prior to 2024. So yeah, I'm pretty happy about that. Lastly, something that I do want to add also is that I'm no longer rating my setups 1 through 5 star. I'm actually going to grade them. So it's going to be A, B, C, D scale. I'll just pretty quickly touch on this and then just wrap up the video. So execution grades are A, B, C, and D. And A, excellent execution, is just proper position size, appropriate risk management, no outside influence on a trade decision, 5 star setup quality, and being prepped for that specific trade. So pretty much, um, not just waking up one day, seeing something that pumped, and I'm just FOMOing into it. Like I prepped for this trade, I planned on it. I didn't just see it in Discord or see it on Twitter, someone else making money, and I'm just like, you know what, I might as well just fucking say jump in, whatever, this and that. So yeah, a B-rated execution is meets all but one on the A grade criteria. A C is meets only two of the A grade criterias, and then D would be either one or none. So yeah, pretty much that's how I'm going to be rating all my setups, and pretty much just focused on, obviously P&L is a good gist of your performance, but I'm more focused on taking A grade excellent executions, because I know over time, even if those are losing, over time I will win and will make money, and my portfolio will grow. So that's what I'm focused on. Not necessarily focused on P&L primarily. Um, and yeah, that's pretty much everything for this month. Really looking forward to October. Uh, just gonna continue to get better every single day as a person, as a trader. Follow through on my discipline in terms of trading, and hopefully that translates to good results. Uh, so yeah, that's pretty much the recap for September. Like I said previously, or in the beginning of the video, I will be doing this for ongoing months, and I might even do some weekly recaps if that said week was active in terms of executions. And yeah, so this is episode 1 to an ongoing series. Thank you guys for your time. Thank you for watching. Um, if you gain any value in this video, feel free to leave a comment, like, subscribe. Don't subscribe, it's cool with me. And yeah, see you guys in the next one.